Hello everyone, I'm Trisha, it's me Jenny, and it's time for another Not Naked Naked Truth response video. And if you don't know what one of those is by now, we were trying to work out when it started as part of the stream last week, 2 weeks ago. And my bad, I actually got the wrong date. I scrolled back through the playlist and thought I got to the first video and just looked at the date, and it turned out the playlist hadn't fully loaded, and it went back even further. It went like 7 years old now? 6 years old. Nearly 6 years old. So yeah, and I think I've done responses to at least most of the videos. I feel like I went back and I did responses to all the videos, but sometimes I go back and I'm like, did I do responses to this video? I don't know if I did. But yeah, it's part of my YouTube vocabulary at this point. Like, I don't think anyone else does video responses anymore. But I'm not going to stop, even if they're not even that welcome. I don't even know if anyone watches these. But I'm still going to do them because they're literally part of my YouTube vocabulary. They're in my lexicon. I can't get them out. It's what I do at this point. And they're really fun, and it's nice having a subject to kind of rattle on about for a few minutes in some sort of a formatted way. And I also really love the idea of the naked truth, which is, you know, you're okay no matter what you wear, what you look like, you know. How you look doesn't necessarily define who you are and what your credentials are, and just be you. You are right as you are. And I kind of feel like I'm going to do this video response in reverse, because that was kind of a lot of the end part of last week's Naked Truth, which was a bit of a clusterfork. We had a lot of people come in on recommendations who were like, what is this? What? Which I get it. I very much get why it's a bit of a confusing vlog style for people who are uninitiated. And honestly, I live in a state of constant and unconditional awe that the Naked Truth and the Naked Army and the Dragon Riders and all of Trisha's community are literally the loveliest people who get it. They get it. It's a niche, slightly eccentric concept, and they get it. And that is like a feat of wonder to me, and I love this community for that. But yeah, we can get people coming in who are not part of that community being like, what's going on? I'm like, yep, I also get that. I also get how this could be something this strange to walk in on, but welcome. But yes, it was very, the last half of the Naked Truth this week was a bit of a, let's just recap what this is for people who are coming in. So I hope Trisha still had fun with it. So yes, other subjects that we covered were things for Thanksgiving, and like Thanksgiving and Christmas traditions. I've talked about Thanksgiving and Christmas traditions before in various other Naked Truths over the years. When it comes to Thanksgiving, it's always a bit of an awkward one for me, given that we do not celebrate Thanksgiving here, but at work and with a lot of my international friends, they do. And so I always feel a bit awkward being someone who's like, hi, do I wish you happy Thanksgiving? Because particularly with the American ones, I'm like, I'm English, is this okay to do? Is this not like, you know, kind of stomping on your party, wishing you Thanksgiving, when I am the oppressor? I am from the oppressors. And so I always feel really awkward on Thanksgiving, particularly at work, because we usually do like a big Thanksgiving event because we've got a lot of international people who want to celebrate it. And today is Thanksgiving. I'm filming this on Thanksgiving Day. This is the 26th of November. And happy Thanksgiving! I'm just gonna say it, get past the awkwardness and say it. But yeah, it's just kind of, it's always very strange for me, Thanksgiving, because it's just not something that we do. And as far as I can tell, it's just an excuse to eat lots of food. Is that literally what it is? As far as I can tell, like, it must be, it's a combination of independence and kind of harvest festival. Like, Harvest Festival is something I grew up doing, but yeah. Anyway, regardless, I don't have any Thanksgiving traditions because I don't do it. The closest I have to a Thanksgiving tradition is working a Thanksgiving event or two, and trying to remember to wish my friends who do celebrate it a happy Thanksgiving in the same way that I wish my friends who celebrate Diwali a happy Diwali, or, you know, all of that jazz. So it's a bit, I don't have any traditions for it. When it comes to Christmas, I've talked about my Christmas traditions before, and mostly it's very low key. This Christmas is going to be a very odd one. It's going to be the first one with neither of my sisters, by the look of it. I mean, that might not be the case, but very probably it's just going to be me without my sisters. It's also going to be my first Christmas Day working, which I've never done that before, and I'm very, very lucky, touch wood. I'm just incredibly lucky that I've never had to work Christmas, just by happenstance of my work. But this year will be the exception. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to probably be very sleepy on Christmas, but I think that'll be nice in a way, because the thing with Christmas are kind of, if there is a Christmas tradition in my household, the idea is to make the presents last as long as you possibly can, and into the evening whenever possible. So if I'm working Christmas, hopefully presents will last. And that game has become harder and harder to play as you're getting older, because you get less physical gifts. So yeah, that should be fun. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Kind of, hopefully I'll only be working the morning, not the evening, so I can kind of do that Christmas thing to my own pace. Yeah. So it's gonna be a weird non-traditional Christmas this year. And like traditionally I go to midnight mass, but I don't know if there will be mass. I've talked about, like, you know, it's about kind of the tradition of religion rather than the actual religious aspect. It's the only time I go is perhaps to midnight mass, but this year I haven't gone the last couple of years, and I won't be going this year, because of the obvious reasons. And I won't be going down to the pub, which is the other thing we would normally do on Christmas Eve. But if I don't have my sister with me, or my sisters with me, then I wouldn't want to do that anyway, so I guess I'll probably just work and then come home and snuggle up on the sofa on Christmas Eve with maybe some mulled wine and go to bed, so I can get up early on Christmas morning to go to work. So that's going to be a weird one. What else did we talk about this week? We talked about, Trisha described it as like a cheese board of subjects, which I thought was a delightful way of describing it. My skin is so dry right now. Oh my gosh, so dry. I bet I've got like peeling. Yeah, words and stuff and things. We also talked about like console generations and gaming systems and stuff, and that's very awkward for me because I am a PC gamer by default, not by active choice. I just kind of play PC because I'm a cheapskate and it's easier to buy a laptop which I can do everything on than to buy a separate device. And also I don't have a lot of space and I don't have a lot of money at the moment. So I've never owned any gaming console. I think both my sisters have Xboxes, and I think my elder sister has a PlayStation now. But we didn't get that until our first Xbox in our house was when my older sister was, I want to say 16, maybe slightly later. But yeah, my older sister was the first one to get a console. We had Tamagotchis growing up. I think my sister had a Tamagotchi. I didn't have a Tamagotchi. I played Neopets. I was obsessed with Neopets. I played so much Neopets. It was very telling of my life. But I never actually owned a console of my own. I think if we had a Tamagotchi, it belonged to my sister. So yeah, I'm not really much of a gaming person in terms of that, but you know, I played video games, but they were very much computer on the computer, on the family PC. We had like a CD-ROM of 101, or like 1,000. I think it was like 1,000 free games, and they were like demos. So you get like, there was like an RPG which I really enjoyed called Blaze of Exile, which I think you can get online still. It was just like, you know, a turn-based combat with like the most ridiculous sound effects where you had like and like just weird like all the monster noises were like and it was just the same sound bites again. And like when you eat, it was the most you had to keep your characters fed or else they died. And when you eat, it made the most like horrible like sort of noise. This is not what this Naked Truth is about, but there we go. But I used to love all those, but then it would be like whole sections were unavailable because it was a demo, or like other games you could only play the first like 20 minutes or the first 5 levels. And I played a lot of those. There was like rip-off versions of games, like there was a rip-off Pac-Man, there was like a rip-off there was just, like, if you name it, there was a rip-off version of it on that CD, and we just played that a lot. And I also had like lots of learning CDs, like learning games. Like we had like 101 easy peasy things to do on a computer, which was like lots of little like click and save games, to kind of teach you basic computer stuff. And like a Tamagotchi type system on that as well when I was a very little kid. What was the other thing that we had? I'm trying to think of what other games I played as a kid. Sims, the original Sims, SimCity, Sim Ant, Sim Island, Nightmare 3D, which terrified me. It still terrifies me forever and ever and ever and ever. Yeah. So yes, that's what I played. That was the generation of PC that I played. And I'm sure I'll think of other cool niche games that I played as a kid, but that's it. I think that's it. I think that's all I can talk about really. Yeah, naked truth when I ramble at the camera for a little while. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, and I hope I'm not offending you in wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. Sometimes I feel like I'm offensive in wishing people a happy Thanksgiving, but there we go. In the meantime, everyone, please stay safe, please stay healthy, obey your local guidelines, you know, protect yourself, protect others, hands, face, guys. This community is lovely. And yeah, I think gaming has been a real lifesaver when it came to lockdown. I finished Skyrim, which is a thing that you can do. You can play every single dungeon and go to every single location and do every single quest and talk to every single NPC. It is possible. It just takes a while. And I also finished Witcher 3 for the first time. And I've just finished playing Harry Potter Years 1 to 4 on Lego. And I've nearly finished Harry Potter's Lego Years 5 to 7. And I played some Phasmophobia and I played some Among Us. And so yeah, it's been a really like super interesting time in a year in gaming for me. Like I've done a lot more variety in gaming than I would usually do, which is cool. And I don't plan on getting or buying any of the new consoles because they are expenses that I don't think for me are worth doing when there's so many other games that are available on my laptop which are cheaper and probably more my cup of tea. But I really like, that's also part of the charm of why I love watching streamers and I love watching walkthroughs, because I can experience games for free, for a different type of experience. Like I'm so excited to watch a walkthrough of the Dark Souls remake, and oh my gosh, Resident Evil 8, when it comes out I am going to watch so many walkthroughs of that. I'm never going to play it though because it looks terrifying. So that there's, you know, I'm very interested in console generation, this current console generation. I'm very excited for the gaming advancements that are happening. But I'm not going to be one of those people who plays any of them because I is cheap. Regardless, I wrapped this up about 5 minutes ago and I'm still talking. Thank you so much for being awesome, Trisha. Thank you to this community. Thank you to everyone who's out on this channel. Thank you to everyone who's on my Twitch, on my Discord. And yeah, thank you for making 2020 better by just being around and, you know, allowing me to be here too, I guess. There we go. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Feel free to comment. Bye.